Ooh, that's a little bright. Yeah, that might help. A little light. A little light.
I think you're good.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're good.
Dude, we've been
What is
trying to do this for a hot minute, man.
It's been a while, dude. It's
It's
been
been
a while,
it's
but
been
dude, it was
it's been
like
a
I
couple of
said.
years trying to get back on, I think.
Well, dude, we're gonna have some fun. So we're actually gonna go ahead and get started. And
Okay.
YouTube? What is up, everybody? Hello and good afternoon to all of you who are watching us live. I'm really happy you guys are with us. And you know what? We're gonna go ahead and get started. So you know what? You guys are in for a you guys are in for some fun. So here we go, guys. That's right. You guys are listening to Remy's Roundtable, the Florida theme park podcast. What is going on, everybody? We do have a great episode for you guys. So we are going to have a lot of fun today because I do have a very special guest on the show, and pretty much at the towards the end of the show, I'm gonna challenge my guest to a little game today. So let's see how well he does. But anyway, guys, welcome to the show. If you guys would like to follow us on social media, you guys can. You guys can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and right here on YouTube. Just type in Remy's Roundtable, and we'll come up on your search bar. And this episode has been brought to you by our good friends over at Jeff's Bagel Run. So do me a favor, if you guys are in the Central Florida area, head on over to Jeff's Bagel Run and go pick yourself up a bagel. And while you guys are out at the theme park, so what is going on, everybody, and welcome. My name is Remy, and with me today, oh boy, what can I say about this gentleman? He's a local Floridian. He knows heavy spots in Florida. You guys have seen him in certain projects that he's been on, like Stranger Things, Cobra Kai, She-Hulk. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna get into it. What is up, Adam? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm good. I'm good. Sorry I was a little late this morning.
Bro, I
I
get,
guess it's technically afternoon.
bro. I told you, man. Just take your time. Get ready, get all, loosey goosey. Look good. I mean, it's not really a. I'm not giving a role today, sir. So I mean, it's a podcast, bro. So come on. How you been,
It's
dude?
I've been good, man. I've been good. It's I don't know, it's been like
It's been so
it's
many
been
years, right?
it's been a few years since we've done this. And kind of a lot's changed since then. I don't like I don't know, I was about to say something, but I was like, I'm not certain I can say that. Like I can't speak on things that I've just recently filmed. Um, but yeah, it's been great, man. Like, I don't know. I think when we first did this podcast, I was still living in Florida and I hadn't done a bunch of things. And uh, I, you know, I moved to Atlanta. I think I had maybe $2,000 to my name, and I moved to Atlanta in the middle of the pandemic, just hoping things would take off. It was a calculated risk, right? Like I kind of assumed, like I had done Hillbilly Elegy, and no one knew it at the time except me. Uh, and I knew that was coming out, and so I figured when I moved, I assumed that Atlanta would start opening up before uh, California would, just because it's the political nature of it, and I was right. And it was like the perfect breeding ground uh, for just to start a blossoming career, to get a bunch of roles because I knew they weren't going to want uh, to bring people in for the smaller roles. And so I figured I was right. Excuse me. It turned out to be, I started, getting, I don't know, it was, it just snowballed pretty quickly. And now I'm auditioning for stuff that could literally be life changing, you know.
That's insane, dude. I mean, come on, man. I mean, you gotta talk about like there's one thing that this had to be your favorite role to do, man. I mean, yeah, it's a smaller role, but you have the right to say, yes, guys, I was part of Marvel, so you were doing
Yeah,
She-Hulk, man.
dude, She-Hulk was so much fun. It's one of my favorite roles because it's the most me that I am in. So, uh, I was with the first time I met what's the lady's name? I feel like saying lady is not right for her. Uh, Maslany,
Is that her name?
something like that. There's someone watching right now. It's like, how do you not know her name?
It's
She's
like,
been in
damn you, damn both of you.
she's been in a million things like Orphan Black and uh, she is the camera does not do it justice. She is just drop dead gorgeous in person. And
Tatiana Maslany.
Maslany,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tatiana, yeah.
Yeah, she is just, I mean, I don't know if she just won the genetic lottery or maybe she works at it, maybe both, but just an absolutely perfect looking human being. Uh, and the first time I met her was on set. We're doing this scene together, and if you haven't seen the scene, uh, I come and knock on the door, and she's expecting her lover that just left. So she's wearing nothing but a t-shirt and underwear. And so the first time I met her, all it appears she's wearing, I'm certain she was wearing like shorts or something underneath, but all it appeared she was wearing was a large t-shirt. And I was a little thrown off. Uh, but like they had built this apartment complex facade thing on a set. We weren't really on the at the apartment complex. So I just walk up to this door and they open it and it's her and I'm like, huh? And I say hi and shake her hand. And you can't see it on screen, but there's like 30 people like kind of hiding in this little hallway around the corner. And one of them is my PA who's like not every person, but like you get like a production assistant that's like you know, helping you out with different things on set. Sometimes they grab you water or snacks or tell you if it's okay to go to the bathroom, that kind of thing. And like I meet her or whatever, she shuts the door, goes back to the side, and I think we did a couple of takes, and there's one take where like I mean, I think I forgot my name. She opened the door and I was like, I'm sorry. I gotta take it back. Like I was just lost in her eyes, I guess. And she clearly figured that out. Uh I think at one point I turned to the PA and I was just like, she is like distractingly attractive. And they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, no warning? You're not gonna warn a guy? like I've never met uh but we did a take where I knock on the door, she opens it, and she's very obviously flirting with me. Like she just reaches out and like touches my chest, goes, "Hi." And I was like, "What's that? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm like, "All right, to play that game." And so I kept it mostly to script, but I started like improvising with her and like, you know, kind of antagonizing her. I'm like, at that point, I think I had done stand up for like 12 years or something.
Well,
And I was,
I thought it was 13 for you, man. I thought it was 13 years for you doing
it's
comedy.
it's about to be 16.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez.
I started in 2009. At the time that I was doing She-Hulk, I think it was 12 years. Uh, it might have been 13 when it came out.
Right.
But so I was like, I could do this. So I started just having snappy comebacks and stuff. And I could hear through the door, which looking back on it, she probably heard me through the door say to the PA, like, she is distractingly attractive. Uh, which probably was like the impetus for the whole like flirting with me thing. Uh, but she goes back to the other side of the door, and I can hear there's writers on the other side of the room that are like, try saying this to him. They're because clearly I was going off script. So they were like coming up with like things to, try to say to me and whatnot. Uh, but like it occurred to me, I'm like, she's got to win this interaction. Because if I'm too snarky or whatever, she would Hulk out. It doesn't make sense. It's her show. She's got to win. So I kind of lamented a bit, but it was fun to see like how they pieced it together and to see like the different, like I know, at least I did at the time. I'm not certain if I could do it this now, what looking back, because I've seen it so many times in the final thing. But like when I first watched it, I was like, oh, that was from that take and that was from that take kind of thing. We didn't do a ton of takes, but it was like it was fun to see how they pieced it together and how much of the improv they used. Like I think one of my favorite things is like when she's slamming the door in my face, like, "Oh, sorry, hey," like saying stuff as the door's closing. But it was like it was the most me that I'd ever uh done, and I got to do kind of more of that with 911 Nashville. I don't know if you saw my character on 911 Nashville.
I
Uh,
I saw a couple of clips off of YouTube, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Is that Adam? That is Adam. I'm like, wait a minute, that's him. Okay.
that was
Because dude, you're not. I mean, dude, you're so recognizable into like different scenes from these
yeah.
projects you've been doing, man. I'm like, there's Adam. There's Adam. Wait a minute, is he gonna be in this project? I got hold up. Nope, that's not him. Never mind, wrong guy. So
Dude, I feel like I started popping up and like I mean for a little while there was like so many popular shows that people were like, you're just in everything, which
yeah,
was kind of a nice compliment. I had a buddy of mine, I don't know if you know Carmen Valone.
yeah, dude, Carmen's
Uh
awesome, dude. Yeah.
Carmen reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm about to watch this new show that's coming out. Have you heard of this one?" And I was like, "I have heard of it. I have not seen it yet." He's like, "I just want to make certain you're not going to pop up so that I'm not watching this and suddenly I'm taken out of it because I see your dumb ass." And I was like, "Oh no, you're not going to happen this time." Because I
Damn,
mean,
damn, Carmen his remarks, man.
well, like it was funny because a lot of times, like when an episode or something I'm on comes out, the day it comes out, I'll post. Oh. But not always. Because sometimes I just don't know when stuff's coming out. And people will just be watching and see me. And the vast majority of people think it's really cool. There's some people who are like, man, I like, it just takes me out of it seeing you because I know you kind of thing. Like he's one of those, he's not unhappy for me. He's very happy for me, but at the same time, he's like, I just want to watch my shows and it's like me and D Russo. I don't know if you know D Russo.
No, I
Uh, he,
don't.
he, he was another comic. He doesn't do stand-up anymore. He's focused exclusively on acting. But he and I, it was like I and Preacher were all coming up at the same time,
Right.
and we're all kind of taking off in our different ways. Preacher's obviously leading the pack a bit, but we'll see. I think we're all doing pretty well right now. Uh,
I mean, think about it this way, man. Preacher just reopened, Austin's coffee shop, the brand new
yeah,
location. He's now a
I
co-owner of Austin's that's in the Winter Park, and I'm like, what in the world? He
I
he's
knew
like
that.
he's like, you know what? Let me help out with the Florida community. Let me go ahead and just be a silent owner of Austin's coffee shop, because that's where, I
Yeah,
mean, that's where you guys got started doing open mics, was at Austin's. And I usually come in and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna see some comedians, see who's funny, see who's not funny, and I'm like, damn it, preacher's right there, standing right in front, doing stand up. I'm like, what in the world? I need to come back to Austin's more often in a Winter Park area.
yeah. I haven't been to the new location yet. I was gonna try to come and surprise everyone opening night. Uh, I didn't realize Preacher was gonna be there, which is cool. But it's just I don't live in Orlando anymore, so it's a bit of a hike for me. But I couldn't make the logistics work. But I wanted to. I might still come out there at some point. Uh,
Dude,
but
the new location is just, it's unreal. It's a little bit bigger than the original Austin's. There's more room to walk around, because the little the other Austin's location was just really compact. I mean, there's like barely walking room area, but this one is more spread out. It's just, dude, it's just gorgeous over there, man.
yeah, the parking situation at Austin's was always kind of hit or miss.
Yeah,
Like it was either like they have way too many spaces or where can I possibly park? There was no in between. Like if it was really slammed one night, like I mean, they would fill up that entire parking lot, which the parking lot at the original Austin's was meant for numerous businesses. Like the fact that they were able to just pack that place out is pretty incredible. Uh the I never felt like the guy who ran that really liked me. Norberg, the guy who ran that open mic, he, he I don't think he was a big fan of me, but we had fun, I feel like. I think that's just kind of part of stand up. Like as you're coming
yeah,
up, not every, for some reason, there's always like little cliques. So it's like not everyone is gonna like you, and that's okay.
right.
Uh, but I mean, also like the thing that people don't understand about stand up is like, uh, you know, everyone that's in it probably has some sort of damage, like
Right.
humor births from necessity. And so, and typically trauma. And so, a lot of people who are in stand up probably got there. The majority of people probably got there from some sort of trauma. And not everyone has dealt with that trauma in a healthy way. And they might not necessarily, uh, you know, be a fully formed person. That's how you see so many people that have like, you know, maybe not at the lower levels, but you certainly see it at the upper levels. You see people that have drug addiction problems and alcohol problems and that sort of thing. Uh, and it's all because of the type of people who get into that industry. So I don't know. It's you the vast majority when I first started in stand up, I felt like I had met my extended family, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah, man.
I absolutely love the people I started with. Like the Ken Millers and Angelo, Preacher, you know, those guys. It's just there's so many of them. And it's funny, like when you start touring, you start to see the same personality types in different cities. So like, I went to New York and saw New York's version of Big Tim, you know, uh who was I don't know if do you know Big Tim?
Tim Murphy, yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's if you don't know who he is, he's a rather large ginger. And the guy I met in New York that was like him was a black dude. Like they didn't look the same, but they had the same, like Tim, when you're at, Tim's at an open mic because you can hear his laugh when he's not on stage. And there's another guy that had a very distinct laugh like him. Or there's a guy, how am I blanking on his name? There was a dude who used to have Arnie Ellis. Arnie Ellis used to do these jokes that you could tell that he was very well educated. You could tell that he was a learned man. And like I remember him using a word, décolletage, and he used it in such a way that you knew what he meant. He didn't make you feel like an idiot because you didn't have his, vast vernacular, but uh, it was, I don't know. I met a guy in New York and LA and so forth that were similar. And I was like, okay, so these types are everywhere kind of thing. It felt like it didn't make them feel derivative. It made it feel like you were home in these other places. Like the people you kind of knew were, in these other places. Like it made you feel like you fit you know, in each of these spots, if that makes sense.
It does, and dude, we do miss you over here, man. Hopefully, you can come back to Florida and do some open mics every once in a while when you have the time. I mean, with your
So
schedule, I'm just
they
saying, just come back to Florida, do some stand up for a little bit, I mean, be like, hey guys, I'm doing a tour right now, so come see me
so
live, blah blah blah.
I am in Florida right now. I'm just not in Orlando. So uh I guess to get a little personal, I came back to Florida. I haven't made it public on my social media, but I came back to Florida when the actor strike started.
That's
So
right.
I kind of had at the same time that happened, my living situation kind of blew up. The guy I was living with, uh, I mean, in all fairness to him, he was kind of going through a lot. He lost like two dogs and an uncle in the span of a couple months, and I went on tour. I was on tour with Carmen Morales for a few weeks. We were doing some of the loony bins, and one of the dogs passed while I was gone. He was an older dog. His name was Fatty, and I loved that dog. But that I think absolutely crushed him. He ended up selling the house while I was on tour. And so I had like less than 30 days to find another place to live. And then the strike started, and I was just like most of my stuff was in storage at the time, and I was just like, where am I gonna go? And my mom reached out and she's like, we got a spare room if you want to come crash. And I was like, my ego says no, but I think this is the most pragmatic choice. And because I knew I wasn't gonna work for like a year, I knew the strike was gonna go on for a while. The problem with the strike is that uh, I have a lot of jokes and stories in my act where I talk about being an actor, and you can't do that during the strike. And also, one of the problems is that uh, like I can tell club owners, you know, you can't promote me as being on all these TV shows, but that doesn't mean they'll all listen. And I didn't want to end up getting blacklisted because I did a show and they're like, it's the guy from Stranger Things, and then I get in trouble for it. So I wasn't doing shows for a hot minute, and then when that started, when like we came back, I was doing a little here and there, uh, but I wasn't doing a lot because I was mostly doing acting. But then my mom passed, and I've kind of been my dad's caretaker, and it's a little hard to get away. Like I've had someone come and cover him when I go do acting stuff, and I pay them to, come watch my dad, but acting pays so much more. So it's hard to justify, uh, leaving him to go do stand up. And so stand up has kind of taken a step back. It's not that I, you know, don't want to do it as much. It's just, it doesn't make as much financial sense at present. And that's kind of been the hard part of it. But that I should be able to do more. Uh, now. We'll see. Things are starting to change a little bit. So I've had some clubs reach out asking, if I'd come do some dates. Uh, so we'll see. I might have some dates popping up here
Awesome,
uh,
dude.
in the not too distant future. So it's all one of the other problems that's been is like uh, you know, any day on set is going to be better for my career than a weekend at a club. Doesn't matter what the club is. And so for in the last like 5 years or so, I've had this crazy thing where it's like I'm having to cancel dates because a lot of the times, uh, like I traveled a lot with Felipe Esparza, and I was getting ready to do some theater shows with him. Like we were supposed to do one weekend, we were going to go do a theater in Detroit, Michigan, and I'd never been to Detroit. And then the very next day, we were going to do a theater in Texas. So we were going to like fly up here, do a theater, and then as soon as we are done, fly over to Texas, and the next day do a theater. Um, and I was excited about the chaos of that. Like it's organized chaos, but you know, it's fun. There's very little chance to rest and calm down from, we just had this crazy excitement. Now we got to rush over here to have this crazy excitement, and then we got to get home and all that kind of stuff. Uh, and I got a call it was when I was doing the movie Lyle Lyle Crocodile. I got a
Dude,
call.
tell me about that, man. I mean, yeah, it's all CGI, but
Oh, dude,
what was your experience like? You know, being on set. I mean, yeah, it was filmed. It was filmed. Was it filmed in New York or was it filmed in
no, that was filmed in Atlanta. There's a
Really?
there's a there's a very famous, well, it's famous in the acting realm.
Let me guess. Is it the Tyler Perry studio?
No, no, no. That was a real location. That's a
Really?
real location in Atlanta. But because it looks so much like New York, this like Atlanta has a pretty proper downtown, and
Yeah.
there's this alley that they filmed a bunch of stuff in this alley because it looks like New York. Like they filmed a lot of that movie in New York, but that one scene they filmed in Atlanta, and they filmed a bunch of stuff there. It was like I didn't find out until I was filming that they were like, dude, they were listing off movies and TV shows that are filmed in this alley. Um, but that was a ton of fun, man. Like I got to hang out with that kid. And the funny thing was like because we were on set, we're filming this alley, they didn't have room for like a bunch of trailers. Like typically when you film something, you've got they call it base camp, where they have all of the trailers and so forth. And then when they're ready for you on set, they bring these sprinter vans and they drive everyone from base camp to set. Uh, and then typically they'll have a holding area for you on set. And the little kid and I were hanging out in the set. It was uh like the lobby of some fancy like apartment complex or something. Like it was we're sitting there on like those cash chairs on this fancy ornate marble floor, and we're just like it's echoey because we're the only ones in here and it's just marble everywhere. And he and I are chatting and getting along. And the funny thing I learned uh in doing that is like uh I understand now why there are like actors who never break character and stuff like that when they're especially when they're dealing with kids and stuff. Because like in the movie, I'm a scary guy. Like we filmed some of the versions with a knife, where I threatened the kid with a knife, and they ultimately decided not to use it, I guess. Um, but uh, I'm threatening this kid, and then we're hanging out for hours and hours on set, and he realizes I'm not a scary dude. And so we
I
we
mean,
did a.
you do have a nickname here in Florida. You're Adam Murray, the Jolly Giant, man. So come on, man.
I have a nickname, the Jolly Giant. I
The
didn't
Jolly
realize that.
Giant, man. Yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, this like we do a take and the kid like laughs at me. And like where I threaten or whatever, he's laughing at me, and I'm like, "What?" And the director's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "He's laughing at me." And the director's like, "Hey, this is serious. Like this is serious." Like he's telling the kid's like, "Oh, okay, sorry." Uh,
But he's a nice guy though.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not afraid of him. Damn it. All right, somebody bring in the fake blood. Let's
It
make it real.
it it made it in. I made it into the blooper reel. Like if you buy the Blu-ray in the blooper reel, like you see him laughing at me. Uh, It was the first blooper reel I'd ever made it into. And I was like, that's so cool. Like to be in a special features of a Blu-ray. I thought that was just that's super cool to me.
You're like,
Uh
I made it. I made it on a reel. Let's go.
yeah, to be in the special features of a movie, that's super cool. That's like, it's like one of the boxes you check off of like I've done this. Like it's just I don't know, it's super cool. Uh
So here's what happened to me, man. I mean, this happened back in January. I got a message from a certain acting company, and they're like, "Hey, we're looking for extras for this certain movie that's gonna be filming at Disney." And I'm like, "Okay, you know what? I got some time. I can do this." I was out there for 6 hours, made $100. Good deal, good little pay for me. I was an extra for this Hallmark movie at Disney, and dude, I gotta say, man, I want to get more into it. I want to do more, doing more extra stuff. I mean, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun just
yeah.
doing that, man. One of the cameras was right up on me, and I'm like, that's an expensive camera. That is very
Oh yeah.
expensive camera. I'm like, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not gonna touch
People
it. So,
people don't understand how expensive those cameras are. Like an Arri Alexa, the body, like the majority of movies are filmed with a and TV shows now are filmed with something like an Arri Alexa. It's the ARRI is but you've probably even if you haven't heard of it, you've seen the logo. Because they put it at the end of like every movie if they use it. And the body itself for those cameras is between uh 80 to $120,000. And when I say body, I mean like without the lens and the battery and all this other stuff. So then you start adding stuff on, like you have to add on a battery, you have to add on a giant screen, you have to add on uh they don't have autofocus. Like that someone is focusing it. And typically what they'll do is they'll have a remote focus that hits on the lens. So it's like someone is standing there with like a little remote that has a dial on it and they're watching a screen and they're doing this number as someone else is like holding the camera and moving around. Uh, so they have that little thing. And like that little thing that clicks on that remotely has gears that move the lens is probably 15 grand or something. uh the lenses themselves can be more than the camera. Like they
yeah.
could be 120,000 for the lens. Like it's a house. You like
See,
literally it could be like 300 grand that they're just walking around. Like
See,
it's crazy.
it's funny because when I tell people, like, when I was on set, being an extra, I'm like, guys, that camera right there, that's worth $1 million. Don't you dare touch it. Don't go near it. It's a lot of money. If you break
I,
it, you got to pay that much to get a brand new camera. I'm like,
I
yeah,
don't know if it's a
I kind of
million.
know that.
I think one of the weird things I had I experienced before, like everything costs money on set. It's
Yep.
nothing more so than time. And because everyone is on a certain pay scale, and after a certain amount of hours, uh, you hit overtime, and different people hit overtime at different times. Uh, like crew will probably hit overtime first, and then the actors, because crew gets there before the actors. And so like 8 hours. After 8 hours, actors get time and a half for the first 2 hours, and then after hour 10, it's double overtime. So, uh, like it's not uncommon to have 12 to 16 hour days on set. And so like your pay can greatly increase with overtime. So I mean, I was doing a set for like a huge big budget thing, but like when they were changing the camera and that sort of stuff, they had a guy on set. It was like, all right, people, this production costs $5,872 a minute, so don't dilly dally. Let's get a move. And it was I don't think that was the exact number, but it was something like that. And to hear the number, the actual number, is so mind-boggling that like it really puts it in perspective when someone walks over in like wardrobe and they're like, oh, we need to fix this thing, like scuff the shoes a little bit that might not even be seen. They're like, I need 10 minutes. And they're like, you got three, you know. It's like you're asking for $20,000 to fix someone's shoes, you
It
know.
is
It
it is
puts
so weird. It's so weird that when I was on, set where we filmed, you are going to see this face on Hallmark because the part where they were filming was the main entrance of the Magic Kingdom where all the turnstiles
Mhm.
were. So and every time somebody messed up, the director would go or the AD he will go reset reset. I'm like, how many resets is it going to take to get this film right, like to get this scene perfect? I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's taking I count like maybe 40 resets, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be here till about 3 o'clock 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'm like,
was was the
I'm not.
director Damien Romay?
I think that was him, yeah.
He does a lot of he does a lot of like those Hallmark movies. And when I say a lot, I think he does like 30 of them a year, 25, 30 of them a year, which is crazy. Like he's doing a movie every 2 weeks kind of thing. Uh and I don't know how that guy can do it, but he just like churns them out. Like he's known for just doing them so quickly. Um the thing I started to tell you before with like uh when I was supposed to do that tour with Felipe is the schedule that you have is you're never entirely certain where or when you're going to be because they might say like if you book a project when you audition for a project they'll say this is your window. The window, like I just auditioned for something that has a window that's like 5 months and they might only need me for a couple of days on it depending on what size role I'm there for. And so when you book it, uh, if they give you a contract, um, they might not give you a contract until the day, like the week before you film, because if they give you a contract and they pencil you in for the an exact day and they change it, they have to pay you for both days. It's part of the union contract because it's unreasonable for them to assume you can fill this day with something else and you set this day aside for them. So you didn't book anything else on that day. Uh, but so part of the problem is they might change. And I was dealing with this a lot where, so like I was mentioning Lyle Crocodile. When I booked that, they told me it was going to be on like, say, the 26th of the month. What, just throwing out a random, like the end of the month. And I had a stand-up weekend scheduled there. And so I canceled it and let them know, like, hey, I booked a movie. I'm filming this day. I'm not going to be able to make it there. And so I have to give them enough time uh, to replace me. And then literally the day before I was supposed to go fly out with Felipe, I get a phone call from set and they're like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm like, I'm supposed to be performing in Michigan tomorrow. And they're like, you're not gonna do that. You're gonna be on set. I was like, are we sure? And they're like, yeah, we're changing it. Just letting you know. And so I had to call Felipe and be like, dude, I gotta cancel. And no one's ever excited to hear that you have to cancel. But even Felipe was like, this is this is like the only reason you definitely should be canceling for this. And I get it, but we'll be fine without you. And so that was happening a lot. So for this one day. yeah, and I had several projects that did the same thing around the same time. I canceled like literally 2 or 3 months worth of stand-up shows because of just a couple projects. Like another one I was doing at the same time was Florida Man. And Florida Man did the same thing where I canceled the date that I had scheduled for the day they told me I was going to film. And then a producer called me at like 8 in the morning to wake me up to be like, you need to go to Wilmington right now. Like get out of bed and go right now. Uh, anyone who knows me knows I'm not up. I'm not up at
Nope.
8 in the morning.
Nope.
No comic is up at 8 in the morning. Uh,
Absolutely not.
so it might have been 7 when they called me. Uh, and they're like, you need to get in your car right now and drive to Wilmington. And I was like, shit, all right. So that kind of stuff happens. And the problem is that like, so what I've started doing is whenever I book, I've tried to do, there's a comic in South Florida. Her name is Jackie Sanchez. And I've tried to do a few of her shows. And I've told her when she books me, like, listen, uh, I'm happy to do this, but understand it's very likely if I book some of these projects that I'm on hold for, I might not be able to do the show, but as soon as I book it, I'll let you know. So I I don't want to be booked like I've avoided being booked as like the headliner for a lot of these shows because like it's so much more difficult for venues to replace a headliner than it is for them to replace like the a guest spot or a special guest or a host or a feature. And so it's been like I'll book these shows and I'll be like I'll agree to it under the caveat that I might have to cancel this because of an acting gig, you know. And I've tried to as best I can show them proof that I have to go, do this thing. And it's just like that's been the problem with doing more stand up is like it's hard to get my schedule down. I go for where like I'll have like periods of not doing anything and then crazy busy and then back and it could change in a dime. I get like when I did Ghostbusters, uh I was hanging out with my family and I got an email or a phone call, I forget which, maybe both, that I'd booked Ghostbusters. I didn't even know I was auditioning for it at the time. And it was on Sunday, and they told me I was going to be filming on Wednesday in Atlanta. And I was like, okay, well, that means my fitting is probably going to be Monday, which is tomorrow in this scenario. Like, I need to go to Atlanta now. Like, because they're going to want, typically, when you do a project, the fitting is 2 days before so they can have time to do alterations if they need to. So I was like, I went and got in my car and I like, it was the first thing I booked after the strike. The trailer was already out. So I didn't know what I was auditioning for because they wouldn't tell me. Uh, and I would never have guessed that because I thought it was finished. Like I said, the trailer was out. It was coming out in like 3 months. I was like, there's no way that this is what it is. Um, I didn't even consider it. Because a lot of times they'll just give you a code name for it, and they won't tell you who's involved, or they'll just say Untitled Marvel Project, or Untitled whomever the star is project, or whoever the director is, like Untitled Steven Spielberg Project. And it's like we're not telling you what this is, but it's a big deal because that person's a part of it. Uh, that kind of thing. And so I literally just I think it was within an hour. I keep a suitcase like mostly packed. So if something like this happens, I can grab it, maybe throw a couple other things in it, or just grab it as is, throw it in the car and go. So that I can be that ready at a moment's notice because of how just there's so much uncertainty with when with regards to time with this industry that like I don't
Would it
know.
be
I
would
love
it be
it, but
would it be weird if, yes, you were in the Ghostbusters movie, but would it be weird if the code was, hey, this is a code Rudd project? You're like, wait a minute, am I gonna be working with Paul Rudd? Hold up
so
now.
on on projects where they have existing IP, intellectual property, uh they tend to be a bit more cagey with it. So like with Ghostbusters, it was codename Blaze, and there was nothing listed as far as like who was involved, who was directing, none of that. And part of the reason for that was like even when I booked it, they weren't telling me who was directing it. And I was like, now that I know what the project is, why aren't they like I can Google who's supposed to be directing this movie. Uh, but they kept telling me the big man was directing my part. And the reason I guess for that was eh, there's the guy who directed uh Frozen Empire was his name is Gil something. Uh he directed I think Monster House and a few other things. But he's like the writing partner to Jason Reitman. But Jason Reitman was the person who directed my scenes, and I didn't know that until I got to set. So that's why they weren't telling me and why they just said the big man. I just found out when I showed up on set and he walked over and like he palmed into my hand a gold challenge coin that said Ghostbusters Firehouse because on set they had a code name for this project that was just called Firehouse. And so he palmed this gold coin in my hand, and I lost my shit. He was like, he palmed it in my hand and said, "Thank you for being a Ghostbuster." And I was like, "What? Are you fucking kidding me? Like it's crazy." Uh, and the judging by the look on his face, no one else had like flipped out that way about it. But it's like, I was like, dude, we all grew up with this. Like, you know, he gets it. Even though like his dad created it, like he understands. Uh, he grew up with it just like we did. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It was so crazy, surreal to be a part of that.
You were a Ghostbuster. You were part of Marvel. But the last thing we're going to talk about real quick before we get into the rapid questions and your little game that I have for you, uh, we got to talk about the one thing that everybody knows you from, Stranger Things, man. I mean, this
Yeah.
what this was the biggest project that you have ever done in
Dude.
your career, man. So you gotta break this down, man. What was the atmosphere like, going on the Stranger Things set and, just going back and rewatching, those scenes, you're like, I could have done this right, I could have done this, I could have done this a little bit. What
I
was your what
did.
was your what was your experience, man?
I have uh I so when I auditioned for that, I had auditioned for I watched season one when it first came out. It just dropped on Netflix with no fanfare or anything. It was just like on the now they call it the For You page. I think uh or the home page or whatever. Um it was just like one of the things they dropped in. And I was like, oh, this looks cool. Like I read the synopsis and I watched it. I ended up watching the whole thing in like I think less than a week. It was only like 8 episodes the first season. Uh, and I was like, oh, this is great. I hope they do this again. I want to say the run times on each of the episodes in season one weren't that long. It might have been just over 30 minutes per episode. I don't even think it was an hour. So it was quick to go through. I haven't rewatched season one in a hot minute, so there's probably someone's like, it was 48 minutes, asshole. Uh, but uh, yeah, I enjoyed the crap out of it, and I was like, I hope they continue this thing. And then I got to audition for season two, and I didn't get it. I auditioned for season three, and I didn't get it. I was super excited just to get the audition for season two, and then same with season three, and I didn't get it. And I was like, man, I really hope I get an audition for season four. And then when that audition came in, I was like, I know I can nail this. Like, I know for a fact I can crush this. Uh, and I think it was like it might have been the first take that I sent to them. So I was like, I don't think I'm gonna get. I did a second take, and I was like, nah, first take's better. We're gonna go with that. And I sent it to him, and I remember getting notification that I was had an avail check, I think, for it. Which an avail check is like they're like, okay, we're gonna put you through the producers. It's between you and a couple other people. But chances are pretty good you're going to book it. We just want to make certain you're available for these dates. And it's always a good sign when you get that. It's like, all right, cool. And then I never got word that I booked it until I was walking into Publix in Atlanta. I was living in Atlanta at the time. And I was on the phone with my stepmom, and I got a phone call from an Atlanta number. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I got to take this. Give me a sec. And they were like, "Hey, this is wardrobe for Stranger Things. We just want to know if we can get your sizes." And I was like, "Are you saying I booked it?" And they're like, "No one told you?" And I was like, "No, no, no one's told me." And they're like, "Well, you booked it. Congratulations." And I was like, "No one's told me anything. This is great." Uh, so I found out the day before I went to set. Like I auditioned for everything you saw on screen. But I found out the day before that they had split it into two people, and I was angry townsperson number two or whatever, and I had one line. And I was upset about it for half a second, and then I'm like, I don't even care, dude, I get to be on this set. Like this is I would be an extra if they asked me to. And so I was like, whatever, man. Um, so I ended up going to set and they had like I was flipping out. They had like the cast chairs said cast in the Stranger Things font. So I told you they have code words for everything. Season four, the code word for the project was called Tareco. Tareco, Tareco. And so
Why does that sound like a gas station?
it does kind of like a Texaco. So on the front of the cast chairs where your back sits, it said cast, but it said in the Stranger Things font, and on the back it said Tareco. So a lot of times, they don't have the real name of the project uh, on ooh, on set because they don't want leaks. I mean, typically everyone knows what they're working on, but the extras might not. You know, like when I was on The Gifted for Marvel, they called it Heaven. It was like Heaven 2 or something. And so even like all the PAs are wearing like badges that say heaven and all that. But then when you roll up with uh a giant SWAT truck that says like Mutant Task Force on the side, you probably get an idea of what they're really filming. Uh that sort of thing. So but like they're trying to keep onlookers and extras and so forth in the dark because those are the people who typically leak stuff. So I had the one line and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna flush this all out to uh, you know, what I didn't want was to watch this back and be disappointed with my own performance, to take myself out because I love the show so much. So when you get something like this, they don't give you uh the whole script. You get your scene because again they don't want leaks. So you have to make up the the imaginary scenario in your own head to make it make sense. So I didn't know who Eddie Munson was. He's not in the scene. But I had to, and I assumed he was a good guy, but I had to go with the uh, what my character would think. And so what I went with was that I'm gonna trust what this guy's saying, that this guy's killing kids in the town, and no one's gonna kill kids in my town. I'm not gonna have any of that. And I'll take matters into my own hands if I need to. And so the way you have to make this scenario real for you. Uh, and so the as is, as they call it, for me was I had an abusive stepdad and uh, a physically abusive stepdad. And so I went with a scenario that the cops had, like, there's people in this scene yelling, "Why isn't he in jail right now?" Oh no, I was yelling that. Uh, so uh, I went with the scenario in my head that they had found uh, out my stepdad was abusing other kids. And so when I'm yelling at them, like, why isn't he behind jail right? Why isn't he behind bars right now? Uh, it had more meaning to it. So even though I had the one line, I was like, I'm gonna flesh this out so it had real meaning and that sort of thing. And we did rehearsals for it. And during rehearsals, they didn't have me starting the mob. They had a woman doing it. She's still in the scene. She has a line. Uh, she yells something like, "We're already doing that" in the scene. Uh, but she was the one who originally started the mob. We did rehearsals, and there are some acting teachers who will tell you, save it for camera, don't give it your all during rehearsals because you might just blow your load and not be able to truly perform when it comes time to do the scene. I think that's what she was doing because whatever she did in her audition, she was not doing on the day. And uh, she sounded like a mom of a toddler, basically like, "Come on, everybody, let's go." And I remember seeing that and going like, I mean, I did that so differently in my audition, but I mean, I guess that's what they wanted, kind of thing. And next thing I know, Sean Levy was talking to us. I didn't know who he was at the time. Uh, you know, uh, he pulled us aside and was like, "Listen, because I was looking for the Duffer Brothers. I'm like, they got to be here somewhere." But I'd never been on a set before with that many people. Like there were so many people, so many moving parts that I wasn't certain who was who and what was what. Because like the director would say something to him, and someone else would yell, would echo what the director said. Like if the director said "cut," someone else would, "God," like kind of thing. Uh, at any rate, he was like, "Listen, we got like 1,000 pages of script. Sometimes, there's miscommunication, lines get crossed." That being said, he looked at her and goes, "You're not saying those lines anymore. He is." And she was like, "What? What about the scene with the dog?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's gonna do that too." And I was trying, I think, to be like I could tell there was tensions were high, and I was trying to add a little levity to it and be like, "Is there a dog here? I like dogs. Can I pet it?" And Sean was like, "There's no dog here." And you could tell the way he said it, a couple of things. Number one, he was embarrassed for having to do this. He did not enjoy this. He didn't take any uh, pleasure in you know, demoting this woman, but also she was very upset with what was going on. And I understood she was being demoted. It's pretty obvious. I didn't understand the scope of it. Like I didn't realize I was going from one line to recurring, meaning I'm in multiple episodes, and she was going from recurring down to one line. Like that was a huge in stand up. Uh, They I think the way I could best describe this in stand-up terms is they have a term for it called being buried. And it's
Right.
when like the opener goes up and does such a great job that the headliner can't follow him. And uh anyone who's coming up and stand up at some point, if they've made it to headliner, they've probably had a moment where they did that to someone. And I've heard some headliners talk about a moment where it happens to them. And they think. I mean, a buddy of mine told me this exact example. Uh, Ricky Reyes. He was saying he saw a guy just go out and just crush to a level and get like a standing ovation kind of thing before he went up, and he's like, "Man, I did this to so many headliners. Like, I guess it's my turn, my turn to just go out there." And they're like, "We want the other guy back," you
Bring him
know.
back. Bring
Uh,
him back.
it doesn't matter how funny you are, sometimes that uh like they just the audience just like starts talking like when the host goes up like, dude, how great was that last guy? That joke he did about the thing? Oh, so good. Like, and they're disconnected, and that's enough to make them like if they miss the first thing you say or whatever, and it doesn't land, or you start a bit, say you start a 5 minute bit and they miss the first minute of it, then they look back and they're not engaged, and they're gonna like you got 5 minutes now, four left, and they weren't in on the setup, and so they're gonna miss, and so it's hard to come back from that. Uh, like it's it's happened. It's happened to everybody. Uh,
True. Uh,
but
we do have some time left, and Adam, it's time for you to play a game on the round table. I to do this with all of
all
our
right,
with our guests on the show. Adam, it's time for you to guess this comedian. So
I'm so bad with names. Oh man, all
I'm
right,
gonna give you five. I am going to give you five comedians that you will have to answer. All these comedians have five clues. All right. So
okay.
before stand up, he studied philosophy and incorporated existential themes into early routines. His breakout television moment involved a sitcom about nothing.
Oh,
He
Seinfeld.
it is Jerry. It is Jerry Seinfeld.
Seinfeld was into what'd you say he went to school for?
No, he didn't go to
Philosophy?
school. No, he before stand up, he studied philosophy. So
Interesting.
yeah. So and the last clue was he has a deep fascination with cars.
Oh yeah, yeah, he does.
That is Jerry
That
Seinfeld. Yep.
that
All right.
I would love to be able to someday have like a Leno collection of I mean, maybe not that big. Uh you know who's got a cool collection, but it's not that huge is
Besides what's his name, Leno, but you also
yeah,
have
but Leno and Seinfeld have crazy car collections, but the guy from Home Improvement,
Tim
he's
Allen.
got Tim Allen he doesn't have I mean, unless he's got more than he's shown on like interviews and stuff, it doesn't seem like he has like, a 50 car collection, but he's got like a 10 car collection. And it's some cool cars and like one-off stuff that he's modified and so forth. That's like that's pretty awesome.
I think my favorite.
He doesn't have a building. You
I
you know.
I think my other favorite car collector is Fluffy Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, he's
He
got a
is
lot of buses.
insane. Yep.
He's
All
into
right.
VW buses.
Are you ready for comedian number two?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, comedian number two. She became one of the youngest female cast members in a long running live sketch comedy show. Her sharp, deadpan delivery became her signature comedic weapon. She created and starred in acclaimed series about ambition, ego, and television writing. And the last clue is she once
It's Tina
portrayed.
Fey.
It's Tina Fey, dude. There you
I,
go. All right.
if you've never read her book Bossy Pants, you really should.
I will read it.
It's a phenomenal autobiography.
All right, number three. He was raised in Canada but built his comedy career in the US. His humor often involves high energy and exaggerated facial expressions. He became widely known after starring in a sketch comedy series in the early 1990s. He portrayed a pet detective, a masked trickster, and a green Christmas hating character. Who is this comedian?
It's Jim Carrey.
It is Jim Carrey.
I
It is Jim Carrey. There you go,
I
man.
was thinking it was someone else until you said sketch show. And then I was like, that's not, that can't be who. Okay. Funny enough, looking back, I think the person I thought it was isn't even Canadian. I think they're from Florida originally. Uh, and now I'm blanking on their name. Uh, Brian Regan. That's what I was
Regan,
thinking
dude,
of.
funny character,
Re
funny guy.
Regan is like high energy, but I think he's originally from Florida. I don't think he's Canadian. So I don't know why I was thinking him. I
But
think it's just because you're the way you're describing the act
he
outs and stuff.
he has I love his dry humor, but sometimes I'm like, can I please listen to somebody else, please? I'm done with Brian Regan for a little bit.
I was just thinking, like, it's been a hot minute since he's put out a special. I think it's been a
It
couple
has,
years.
yeah. All
Like
right.
he went through like a divorce or something. Uh,
All right, Adam, here's your last. This is your last comedy. You're a comedian. You're gonna have to guess, and then I'm gonna get you into our rapid questions. All right, so here's the last comedian.
2021 was the
Jeez,
last special he had on the rocks.
wow.
So it's been a while because he every few years he had one, like every 4 years. It's time.
And now it's gone to 5 years for him. That's crazy.
He had one in 2017, one in 2018, one in 2015, and then 2021. Now it's been 5 years.
All right, Adam.
That's a long time.
Here is the last comedian you have to guess. All right. He blends stand up with storytelling, often focusing on childhood experiences and awkward adolescence. His comedic persona frequently leans into nerd culture and emotional vulnerability. One clue: Stranger Things. He gained recognition for a heartfelt comedic special reflecting on growing up in the 1980s and 90s. His humor balances nostalgia, heart, and punchlines that build from personal narrative. Who is this comedian?
He was in Stranger Things?
Yes, he is in Stranger Things.
I mean, I was thinking Birbiglia until you said uh that he was in Stranger Things. So,
If I stomp you on this, I'm gonna be like, oh my
is it
gosh.
is it Murray? The guy that
It is
plays Murray?
no, dude. It is actually you. It is Adam Murray.
Oh. I was like, who is this? Is it Stranger Things? Is it a comedian?
It is you, man. It is you. So you are the last clue, man. But speaking about comedians, man. Who actually influenced you to become a comedian? Like, who are some of your favorite comedians that you're like, okay, I want to do stand up, but who really influenced you to become a comedian?
That would be Carmen Morales. Carmen Morales would be the person to blame. Uh, when I was growing up, I wanted to be an actor. I kind of assumed that the people who were stand-up comedians had like a superpower kind of thing. Like I kind of thought that they were just born with this ability to be hilarious on stage. And I, it was a friend of mine used to go do poetry slams around Orlando, and I would go with him. His name was Brendan. Uh, I would go with him to these poetry slams, and then afterwards they would go to Denny's. And there was a comedian, her name's Kendra Corey, who she would do both stand up and these poetry slams. And she had brought a comedian friend of hers named Carmen Morales to this this one poetry thing. I tried to talk to Kendra about stand up before, like, I remember asking her like, how much do you make doing this? And she didn't want to tell me, and I assume because, it's a little embarrassing to say you're doing a show for $50 or $25 or whatever hosting was paying. Like, uh, sometimes features was like 75, $100 or whatever. And so, uh, I think she didn't want to tell me because maybe she thought I'd make fun of her or something. Uh, but then, I didn't know Carmen was a comedian at the time. We all went out to Denny's, and I just had one of those nights where I'm sure we've all experienced this, where you're just on, and uh, like I was just being super funny and saying funny, like I was making everyone laugh the whole night, and afterwards, Carmen came up to me and she was like, "You should try stand up." And I knew that I personally had uh severe stage fright, like paralyzing stage fright. Like when I had to get up in front of my class to do a project when I was in elementary school, and I remember just getting up in front of the class and just shaking and crying, and they had me sit back down, and then later I got up to try to do it again, and I hated being in front of everybody. Um, I mean, say that now and just think back. Like I've done shows in front of like 2,800 people now, and so I've clearly overcome that. Uh, but it's funny, like for stand up, before you get on stage each time, uh, there's that fright, like, oh man, is this gonna go well? Even if like your material is great, like uh, it's just like, oh shit, here we go, and you go out there anyway. Uh, I mean, I think for a little while, Felipe, it was one of the things Felipe didn't like that I did. Uh, I had I had a way for a little while where like if I was given a certain intro, I could walk out there within like uh sometimes without even saying anything, but within within like 3 words, I could get a real big laugh. And that was kind of a cheat code. That was a fun little cheat code. Uh, and Felipe kind of challenged me to not do that and to get into that joke a different way. I always looked at it like I was trying to do the best job I could and the most efficiently I could. So I looked at it like this is a way to start off the set real hot, real heavy, real quick, and then get into it. And uh, but I was looking at stand up like a puzzle. Anywho, so Carmen had told me she thought I should get into stand up, and I was like, I don't know about all that. Uh, and I was very hesitant about it because I knew my own limitations. And so I ended up going out uh, to different stand-up locations, like open mics and stuff, for like 3 months. I brought a notebook and I wrote stuff down, wrote all these jokes. And when I first, uh, I think I told Carmen and some other people the jokes that I'd written down at first, and I didn't like even saying them. And I did the thing that most comics do when they start out is you're doing an impression of a comic. You're writing jokes that you think other people will think is funny. You're not writing stuff that you actually think is funny. And so thankfully, because I had this experience, I scrapped all that stuff that I wrote and I went back and just wrote stuff that I thought was funny. And that's what I started with. So I skipped the whole like doing shocking stuff, just for the sake of it, or like, blue humor, because I found I didn't even like saying it, you know. So, uh, I guess to answer your question, it was Carmen Morales that got me started in stand up
Carmen,
because I
awesome,
didn't. She's definitely the one to blame.
All
uh,
right, all right, Adam. It's time for us to do, the last questions on the roundtable, and these are coming from the late James Lipton from inside the Actors Studio. All
oh
right.
wow.
So,
All right.
Adam, what is your favorite word?
Favorite word?
Your favorite word?
Hmm. Can I do more than one?
Yeah, you can do. Two
I
words.
think I think a fun word is anti-disestablishmentarianism, just because it's long, like it's one of the longest words in the English language, uh, other than like scientific words. But like there's other fun words to say, you know. I'm trying to think of one of the fun words to say. Scruple. I think
Scruple.
scruple's a fun word to say. Uh,
What
it's
is your
like that's a fun one because it's like it sounds like a Dr. Seuss word, but at the same time, it's uh like a uh an
actually
SAT word.
it sounds like a character from Dr. Seuss. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
here he is, the Scruple.
Yeah, exactly. You have good scruples, you know.
All right, number I'm sorry, not number. What is your least favorite word?
Mm. My gut reaction was to say no, but uh I think just in context of like not booking something was what I was thinking. But it sounds like such a like a spoiled brat to say no is your least favorite word. I don't know. Oh, I mean, we could go with the ever classic N word.
There we go.
I,
Yeah,
I,
just leave it, just leave
I
it.
was I was thinking that because I just turned down a audition. Uh, for some reason, I get requested a lot to either play like a racist guy uh in like you know a period piece. Like I guess I just look very insurrection-y, and they're like, he could be our N-word guy, and
You're
I
like,
just
nope.
refuse.
You're like, nope,
I
not
just
gonna say it.
refuse.
Not gonna say it.
There's
Uh,
been so many times where I've turned down nudity a ton, and I've turned down playing characters to say that word. It's just not like kind of like when I knew I had a problem with stage fright. I know I'm not gonna feel comfortable saying that word, and I don't think I can say it in a way that's gonna come off as good on screen. And
right.
same thing with like being nude. I think I'd be so uncomfortable that it just wouldn't, it's not gonna, you're not gonna want to show it. I just, I
What sound or
don't think we're
noise?
perform. Go ahead.
What sound or noise do you love?
I would say a V8 with a nice camshaft. Do you know what that sounds
Yeah,
like?
I do, man. I do.
I was at Publix the other day, and a guy pulled in with a Camaro ZL1 that had
Ooh.
a nice camshaft in it, and I like he parked right next to me. I was putting my groceries in the car. I gave him a thumbs up as he was driving by, and he parked and he got out, and I was like, "Dude, what's done to that thing other than the cam?" And like he instantly knew that I knew what I was talking about because I asked him that question. And he was like, "Oh, he's like." Dude, it's got like, I mean, headers, ported blower, pulley, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Twin turbo. I mean, there you go.
Well, so the Camaro ZL1 was a supercharged V8 from the factory. It was making 650 horsepower uh, to the engine. But when you dyno it, there's parasitic loss. It takes energy to move the components in the transmission and the drive shaft and the rear axle, and how heavy your wheels are and so forth, uh, takes away horsepower from what's actually making it to the pavement. And when you dyno a car, they're weighted rollers that you put the vehicle on, and it measures how much horsepower the car has. He told me that it made 800 to the tire, which is, I mean, that's like 1,000 horsepower
That is,
to the
dude,
engine.
that's insane.
Like
All right,
that's awesome.
what sound or noise do you hate?
I don't like it when you can hear people like swallowing,
Yeah.
like people glug glug glug. Like it's just something that's bothered me since I was a kid. I just ugh.
what is your favorite theme park snack?
Oh man. Uh I don't know. If I just pick it, you know which one I haven't had in a long time. I don't think it's my favorite, but I just maybe crave it is like a turkey leg.
Oh my gosh.
Uh
So
but
you
like
want
the
you
but
want to spend you want to spend $20 on a turkey leg?
is that what they cost now? The
20 bucks,
last
dude.
the
$20.
last time I got a turkey leg, I it was I mean this I used to drive a cab in Orlando for Mears, and Disney was like a partner with them, and so they would give every cab driver a pass to go to all the theme parks one time a year. It was like this credit card looking thing, and you could get into each theme park one day, uh, all the Disney theme parks. And so one of the times we went, it was at the Magic Kingdom. They were selling turkey legs, and I had walked up and they were sold out of turkey legs. I was like, ah, no, I want one of this. And they were like, you know what? Uh, they said what we haven't done in a while is given someone a magical moment. And I was like, what's that? And they're like, you don't know what a magical moment is? I was like, I have no idea what a magical moment is. Uh, and they gave me a turkey leg for free.
Let's go. Let's go.
And, and I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, we just every so often we're just supposed to make someone's day. And I've thought that probably the reason I haven't experienced that is like I'm not a cute kid, I'm not a hot chick, like I'm average, now probably middle-aged white dude. Like I'm probably not chosen for that kind of stuff.
What is your favorite what is your favorite theme park in Florida?
It's gone back and forth between uh like I really like Magic Kingdom. I really like Universal. Uh I will say the new Epic Universe is pretty awesome. But one of the things
I
I
haven't been there yet. I have not been to Epic.
it's so good. It's so good. Like it's hard to compare, but like I don't have nostalgia for it in the same way I would like Epcot or you know uh
Magic or Universal
Matt
or
the
Hollywood
studios was Hollywood
Studios.
Studios. Like I always loved going to Hollywood Studios and doing like the Muppets and that sort of thing. Like a lot of the stuff I know it's gone. A lot of the stuff that I loved about that, it's just not even there anymore,
I
which is
know.
crazy. But
And they
like
and they literally just they got rid of they just closed Rock and Roller Coaster the other day. And now
really,
they're transforming that ride into the Muppets. So the Muppets are going to be taking over the Rock and Roller Coaster building. So now it's going to be called Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets Electric Mayhem.
so they're just retheming the ride around the Muppets.
They're just retheming it.
I mean, we'll see if they can pull that off. Uh,
So what is your favorite theme park here in Florida?
I would say it depends on the time of year because uh like when Food and Wine is going on, there's not much better than Epcot, or when they do what's the flower festival they do there?
Oh yeah,
I really
the flower and garden show. Yeah,
Yeah, I really like going to Epcot during Food and Wine. And so I mean, times of the year, there's different stuff going on at different theme parks. Uh, so I think you have to take that into consideration. So I would say that because I used to do that with my friends, and that was so much fun. I mean, you're always eating on a trash can, or if it rains or something. The last time I went with a comedian in Orlando. His name is Mitch Silver, and uh, we went to Food and Wine, walked around, and just had a blast. Um, dude, that's such a fun thing to do because you get to see some of the flowers. They still have some of the what are those called where it's like the hedge they make a hedge topiary.
Topiary, yeah.
Uh, they get the hedges into something cool like that. I think those are so cool. Plus, you get all the cool food.
Oh
I don't know if
yeah.
have you ever tried to drink around Epcot?
When I was 20, when I was 21, I spent $100 drinking around the world. Come on, man.
I don't know how like to do a drink. I've tried it.
But here's the thing.
I
Here's the
can't
thing,
make it all
though.
the way around.
Here's the thing, though. I stayed in one spot, and I didn't even travel around the world. I just stayed in one area, and that was at the tequila bar in Mexico. That's
That's
all
what I
I
mean. Like
did, man. That's
to
all I did.
try to drink the whole we when we did it the last time, like some of the best drinks in the park is actually in Paris. They have these Grey Goose slushies in Paris that are so good, but they're dangerous, man. Like you don't taste a lot of the Grey Goose, like hardly any. They have it in like two or three different flavors. It's like there's something yellow. It's either like mango or some sort of orange, some citrus thing. And I think they have like a berry one, but like it just tastes like just, I mean, it goes down but like you got like we started in Canada and went around. I mean, the worst one I think is America. It's just Budweiser, but like that's just, I'm sorry, it's not a good beer.
Not.
Like
It's not.
once you really get into beers, I don't know how you still like Budweiser. It's just
I mean, you got your sours, you got your IPAs, you got your lagers, you got some of the dopest shit here in Florida. You're like, yeah, I'll take
people
that,
still
but can
drink
you?
that.
It's like, can you bring this stuff to Epcot and just get rid of all the, the Budweisers and stuff like that? But what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Actually, attempt. Well, I don't know if it falls into profession, but I've really I would like to be good enough at things to be able to do them professionally, and I'm not there yet. Like playing pool to a professional level, I would love to be that good. Uh, or chess. Actually, after I'm taking my first lesson in chess after this,
Nice,
when we get
dude.
done, that was part of the reason I had a hard out at the time
Not
was
bad.
I'm
Not
taking a
bad,
chess
man.
lesson.
Dude, I am horrible at chess, but when I was playing,
Dude,
I used to
I
play
used to
chess
be
back in
so good.
I used to play chess back in high school with my buddies, and they're like, we play like for like, all right, if you win, you owe me $5. If you win, I owe you $5. So we were betting just from playing chess with each other, and the most I've made from a friend of mine, yeah, I made over $100 off of him. Like, sorry, dude, you lost. So
The
there
the
you go.
craziest thing is like I started to learn like we didn't have the resources that kids do now with YouTube and all that stuff, like the video lessons that people put out. Like it's so accessible now to become that much better at chess. Uh, when you and I were growing up, all you had was tactics. You would learn tactics like how to I mean, unless maybe I'm wrong, maybe you knew openings and that sort of stuff. Did you study like the
I kind of
London
did.
and
I
oh,
kind of did.
you studied openings and stuff? Like
Little bit here and there,
uh
yeah.
I just knew like basic stuff. Like try to, work on the center and use your pawns to cover and that sort of thing.
The one technique that I'm gonna give you is this. You gotta protect your king and queen at all times. But there's a certain move that can arrange that where you have total control with the queen, the king, and the rook all at the same
Talking
time.
about castling.
Castle, baby.
Yeah, yeah. You gotta castle early and often.
I did that move one time, and all of a sudden I'm like, checkmate. There I go. My buddy goes, how the hell did you do that? I'm like, hey, you weren't paying attention. So I'm like, whoop.
Yeah,
Like, oh
yeah.
wow. All right, and the last question is, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Welcome home.
Can't say it more, man. Cannot say it more. Adam, dude, thank you so much for being on the show today, man. Please let our audience know where can everybody check you out on social media.
I think on everything it's at Adam Ray Live. So even like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, uh, all the things are at Adam Ray Live. And if they have any questions or whatever, hey, feel free to reach out, ask me. I'm happy to answer.
There you go. And guys, it's time for us to get up on out of here. Guys, thank you so much for listening to Remy's Roundtable, the Florida theme park podcast. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as we did. You guys can follow us on all social media, which we are on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and right here on YouTube. Just type in Remy's Roundtable in your search bar and we'll come right up for you guys. If you guys need a candle for your home or for your office, head on over to themagiccandlecompany.com. Pick yourself up a candle for your home or for your office and use our code ROUNDTABLE19 at checkout for your lovely discount. And I do have some brand new shirt designs on tpublic.com. So head on over to tpublic.com. That's TEE public.com. I do have a sale going on, and you guys can buy a shirt for 40% off. And lastly, guys, we do have you guys can head on over to our friends area, which is over at Jeff's Bagel Run. So do me a favor, head on over to there and just say hey to them, and just tell them that you listen to Remy's Roundtable, and I might give you a little something over at Jeff's Bagel Run. On the behalf of Adam, guys, my name is Remy. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see everybody next time right here on Remy's Roundtable. YouTube, guys, we will see everybody tonight for a regular episode of Remy's Roundtable, and we do go live at 9 p.m. tonight, so you guys do not want to miss out on that episode, because tonight's episode we are going to talk about on Ride of the Week. We're going to talk about Splash Mountain. So that's tonight at 9 p.m., and we'll see you guys later on. Bye.